You guys are live.
All right. Okay. Woo. We have come to our fifth IG live on the topic of family altar. And today you'll see the two of us here. I'm Callista, and this is.
Sibling. Hello, guys. Okay, should we do a introduction? We should.
Yes,
Okay,
yes, we should.
let's do it. Okay, I can introduce myself first.
All right.
So, I am still in Mega Life. My last year actually. So I'm in ML38. But I'm also a cell leader of ML05B, and I am currently schoolless because I graduated from JC last year, and I'm enjoying life right now at home during circuit breaker. Yes. So what about you, Kel?
Circuit breaker must be very shock for you, hor. Yeah, so I'm Callista. People know me as Cal. So I'm actually not in Mega Life anymore. I'm a Mega Life cell leader of the cell ML43, but I'm wearing my ML29 shirt. So this was my cell last time in Mega Life, and we wore this on our very, very last Mega Life camp together. Yeah, so for both Sing and I, Mega Life is a place that we call home and family, and it's really, really so nice to see all of y'all coming here and joining us for the live stream as well. All right, so we see quite a lot of viewers tuning in, about like 18 of y'all now. So it's nice to see. Shout out to you, Esther, Joelle. I see my kid, Sean, Joshua. Yeah. Sing, do you see any of your people that you know there?
I think I see Zhi. Yeah, but just a question, Cal, do your members or your cellmates know that you are gonna be on IG Live?
I didn't tell my cellmates, but my members know lah.
Oh,
How
okay,
about
yeah, same.
you?
I also didn't tell them. So it probably will be a surprise. That's if they tune in. Yeah.
Okay, they better tune in. Then they can ask you questions during the Q&A, hor. Okay, so we'll just introduce the heart behind our this IG Live series. So as y'all know, we are studying the book of Nehemiah now. We're on a series on rebuilding personal and family altars. And today, as we said, is the fifth IG Live. Wow, Mega Lifers, you have come so far. Yeah, and so this series is all about giving you real life stories of people who God is teaching to live out lessons from the book of Nehemiah. And this includes rebuilding our personal and family altars. So, today's IG Live is a little bit different from the format that you may be used to. So last time you would think that there'll be an interviewer and an interviewee, but actually this time both Sui and I are interviewees. So you must be like thinking, okay, so where will the question come from? You're actually here today with us on our live is this Mega Life bot. So this Mega Life bot will be actually throwing questions out to me and Sing to answer in the IG Live. Whew, it's a bit nervous, but it's also very exciting because for both Say and I, we didn't really prepare the questions to this. Yeah, but the answers that we'll be sharing is really real, authentic, and really from our heart lah. Yeah, so these are. I hope you all are like excited also, even as you all hear the questions being thrown out by the Mega Life bot. Right. Okay. So Sing, are you ready?
Yes. Let's go.
All right. Okay, so without a further ado, let's jump right into the questions.
Can you tell us more about your family?
Okay, first question quite okay lah. So I'm the eldest child in my family. So my family comprises of my mom, my dad, and myself and my two younger brothers. Yeah, so altogether there's 5 of us, and we are from a Christian family ever since I was young. Yeah. How about you, Sing?
So my family is actually opposite to Kel's. My family is a pre-believing family. I'm the only Christian in my family. But in my family itself, we have my papa, my mama, me, and my brother. I have one older brother, and he's just 1 year older, which I find amazing lah. Yeah, because we are so close in terms of age. Yep. Can we have the next question?
So, can you share with us a fond memory of your family?
Okay, I can share. So, I think like the memories that my family have like really enjoy lah. It's when we go bread shopping together. So if you didn't know, my family really loves bread, and this is not just like me and my brothers, but also my parents lah. Yeah, so sometimes when we go out, then we'll not just stop at one, not two, but like three or more bread stores that we just see along the way. We just look at the bread, smell the bread, choose the bread that we like, yeah, and actually buy the bread for one another also. Yeah, so there is a very fond memory that I have of my family lah, to go and like shop for bread together, and this also a little highlight when we go overseas, because we'll like check out the breads that are like over there as well. Yeah. Okay, how about you, Sing?
Yeah, for me, I think family memories, most of the good ones are made with individual um, people in my family. So for one, because my mom is from China, she isn't fluent in English. So being in Singapore for many years, it's kind of natural that she has to pick up English lah. So she went for this English class. Then every time she come home, she'll ask me to help her with the pronunciation. And the thing about people from China, they have trouble differentiating the R and the L. So sometimes when she say how to pronounce rest, rest, then I say mom, is rest. Then she'll say rest, rest. So it's quite funny because I feel like that bonding time was something that I really cherish. Although it's maybe like a short 15 minutes, like when I come back from school and she'll just like kacau me, but it's something that I really cherish lah. Do we have time to share more? I can share for my individual families. I think we do, right? Okay, so for my dad, one of the fond memories is before circuit breaker, every Sunday I will actually go for morning breakfast with him. Yeah, so it's actually a father and daughter time, not really planned, but it became the way because both my father and I, we are morning people. We wake up very early, then he will always show me, hey, you want to eat or not? Then I'll just go with him. So sometimes we have meaningful conversations over coffee, and although there were times when I felt like I was very lazy because of maybe the tensions that happened between my father and I, but I always feel like whenever we make the effort to go for breakfast together, um, it turns out very that we have very meaningful conversations lah. Yeah. Then for my brother, sorry, one last one. For my brother, I think our fondest memory is when he was outside and then he wanted to, before he came back home, he texted me and he asked me whether or not he needed to, whether he can help me tapao food. Then I was very sweet because the thing is when we're younger, it's like he and I, we will always fight like who will go down and buy food, that kind of thing. But then now that we are older and he actually initiates and offers the help to help tapao food, I think that is very precious. Yeah. Okay.
Wow, that's really nice. Yeah, it reminds me of my brother also, who would now recently asked me whether I want like bubble tea and all that. Then it's like quite nice lah, cause they grow up already, so they can spend money on us also. Yeah. Okay, so shout out to the people in the comments below saying that they love bread too and all the bread talk. Yup, then yup. Okay, so I think without further ado, let's go on to the next question. Mega Life bot, please.
Can you share with us an unexpected story related to your family?
Okay, I can go first. So y'all may think that me and my brothers are quite close. And we are. It's just that we weren't close when we were younger, cause me and my brothers have like quite a small age gap. So my younger brother is 1 year younger, and my youngest brother is 3 years younger. So because of that, growing up we had a lot of like sibling fights and rivalry. Um, really small things like wrapping a present for Mother's Day, fighting over a scotch tape can like really get the entire house like thrown upside down. Yeah, so I guess an unexpected thing that you will think is unexpected thing for my family is that actually there was one fight that the police had to come to our house. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, and this happened when I was in like primary school. So what happened was that I can't even remember what's the thing that me and my brothers were fighting about. But basically, it got so bad that I was screaming. We were like trying to fight, and then like wow, really very rabak. I remember it was at the time that I like, you know, when you're younger, then you like want to grab the phone to like call your parents kind of thing, cause you're like, I tell mommy lah. So I went to take my phone. I mean, take the house phone, and then I tried to like call my mom. My mom's number has a lot of nines, so unintentionally I actually called the police lah, and I didn't even know. Yeah, so I heard the phone, and then I heard this weird hello that I don't like, a voice that I didn't recognize. I remember throwing the phone on my bed, and at that point in time, my brother was, I think, pulling my hair, and so I was like screaming hysterically, and then I was just like fighting with my brother and everything. And so after a while, like fought all the way from my bedroom to the living room, right? And then the phone rang again. I was like, oh, I think it's mom. So I picked up the phone, and then whoa, it was the police, and they were like, hello, this is the police. We heard that there was a call from your house. We have already sent people on our way there to find out what is going on. And at that point in time, right, I really thought I was going to go jail because I was a young kid and I didn't know anything better. And I was like, oh no, I prank called the police eh. And you know, when we learn in like social studies that you're not supposed to prank call the police, and you know, it's a crime and everything. And I was like, oh no, what did I do? I do not want to fight with my brother anymore. Yeah, and at that moment, right, when I wanted to put down the call, ding dong, the doorbell rang. My heart just dropped. I was like, this is the worst day of my life. And then so my auntie went to open the door. She was just holding me and my brother side by side. Our shirts just like all torn up and everything already. Like it was so bad. And then the police just looked at us and like, what happened? And then we just told the police that we just fought. And then the police looked like very shocked, but he was also very concerned. He took our NRIC lah, but I thank God today that I don't have a criminal record. Yeah, but I guess that's an unexpected thing that you not think about my family, nor yeah, nor us having an encounter with the police. Yeah. All right.
Actually, Kel, your story is very interesting, and you painted it like when you were saying it, I could imagine it in my head playing. It was like a movie. Yeah, so it was very interesting. For me, I think one unexpected thing that happened in my family is maybe when we were younger, my parents would always bring us out for family outings, like to the zoo, or we eat dinner together. Then it was just one day that suddenly one night I saw my dad and I overheard my dad and my mom quarreling, and then it got quite heated to the extent that my dad threw like my mom's stuff outside to the living room. And being in primary school, it was something very unexpected because for one, I thought that we were all going out for family outings, everything was fine, everything was happy, rainbows and everything. But suddenly that fight erupted, right? And then it took me aback. It took me and my brother aback in a sense. We didn't know what was happening, and we've never my dad in that fierce. We have never seen that fierce side of him, and after that whole incident, there were a lot of tears, but it did put a strain on my relationship with my dad because he was being fierce, and in that sense, it made me scared of him lah, and it made it harder for me to approach him in that sense. Yeah. So over time, it was something that I had to work through with my father in terms of my relationship with him, being able to like talk to him. And so that's why one of the best memories I have with my dad is to get to eat breakfast with him every Sunday, because that actually picked up my relationship with him. In a sense, I got to like hear him out more, and we get to talk about life in that sense. Yeah.
Wow, that's so nice to hear. Yeah, but breakfast is not truly breakfast without bread. Just saying. All right. Okay. So with that, I think it's our fourth question.
What struggles do you face as a family?
Maybe I can continue. Yeah, because it seems like a continued question. Yeah, so I guess one of the major struggles in my family is um, the the struggle between my parents' relationship. So I think it there was a crack in their marriage since primary school. I think that was when it started. Um, in terms of so basically, uh, my my parents had some misunderstandings in terms of who my mom was making friends with, and my dad thought that my mom was having other accountability partners outside lah of our home, and being um, the the man in the house. Definitely he took it personally, and he was hurt by the situation, and so there was like a quarrel. Yeah. It was a struggle since through my life, because it started in primary school, and it's actually kind of still ongoing in my family now. That's why it's a bit harder to talk about it, but um, in essence, we struggle in communication. Uh, it always came from a place where my dad would uh, say something that he heard from someone else. Like he saw my mom doing this, he saw my mom doing that, and then my mom would deny. And then us being kids, we are like, who are we to? I mean, who do we believe, and who do we side in that sense? But that is the struggle for us children, because we don't want to side anyone in the family, and that's how it became very tough to just bring up the situation in that sense, because whenever we bring it up, uh, it will kind of result in a fight lah. And in kind of in hindsight, because we I've seen my family kind of talk about this for many years. I think one thing we that I really felt like I needed to pray for in my family is for there to be understanding towards each other. Yeah. So when I managed to talk to my mom and my dad individually, I got to see the situation in their lens, and I could kind of understand how or why my mom made certain decisions, and similarly why my dad reacted a certain way. And and so with that understanding, I felt like I was able to see them not just as um, my parents, but actually as people who are children of God, because ultimately they are people that God wants to bring back home. And if I see them through the lens of they are only my parents, I think I will have very high expectations of them. I will I will not leave any room for them to make mistakes in that sense. But through this whole situation, I think one thing that got revealed to me is, if I'm able to understand them through His lens, I see them more than just my parents, but they are also children of God lah. Yeah. Okay. I kind of think I digressed a bit, but yeah. So, Cal.
Thank you so much for sharing, Sing. And I think what you said about, our parents being children of God is very, very true lah. Especially also coming from a Christian family myself. Yeah, and struggles are not uncommon in any family unit lah. And I think also what we learned from Ned's sermon also, as we visited the first few families in the Bible, right? And we really saw how much there was earthly pains, yeah, relating back to Ned's sermon. Yeah, and so thank you for sharing what you shared with us. For me, my family struggles happened a lot more when it was between, I think, upper primary school to uh, late to like early JC. Yeah, so like late secondary school lah. Yeah, and that happened when it was a transition point for my parents in terms of their work and also their family. I mean, their um, working together. Yeah, so in that sense, it was a bit of a rocky time for our family. As with the kids, then we were also a bit rebellious lah, and we were going through that phase where we didn't we weren't like united on like any front, not with one another, and also not really obeying our parents. Yeah, and so with that, it was quite a difficult time because um, even as each and every one of us were like hurting or disappointed in our own ways, we also like hurt one another as well. Yeah, and without like the proper communication, without talking things out, without being honest with also our feelings lah, that gave way to a place for unforgiveness, bitterness, and also a tendency to keep a record of wrongs. Yeah, and as we learn about love in First Corinthians also, that love keeps no record of wrongs lah. And this is something that I guess we are all guilty about, like just breaking up something from the past when your mom nagging at you, or when you just want to like prove your point. Yeah, and I think that was a significant family struggle lah during that time, because I think we all were driven to a place of like we all felt that we had no one but God. Yeah, and we was just not united as a family. Yeah, but it's even in that place where God really really met us lah. Yeah, and yeah, I guess we can share the story if there's more time later. Yeah. Okay. And with that, let's have the fifth question.
So, what brings your family together?
I would say bread. But then, yeah, I guess the entire part. Sorry, this is not just about bread talk, okay? But really, my family does buy bread for one another lah. And I think even waking up to breakfast and seeing that someone has, bought the favorite kind of bread that you like is very, very nice, because you know that they thought and cared about you. Yeah. And another thing as well that brings our family together is that right now my parents try to do family devotions with us. Yeah, so we had a family devotion on Good Friday, Easter Sunday, and we tried to have it during our family times on Sunday lah. Yeah, and honestly, it can be very awkward, and I guess every Christian family and children will know that. And yeah, but I think even in those times where we are coming together as family to really pray for one another, and to really to knowing that this family unit is so important to God. Yeah, and putting aside that awkwardness, that feelings of laziness sometimes. Yeah, coming together to just worship God and to pray and journey alongside one another lah. Those times are really really very precious for me and my family. Yeah, and so I guess it is really God that is holding my family together and also brings us together as well, coming from a Christian family. Yeah, but I'm interested to hear what Sing will say from a pre-believing family. Yeah.
So, I think before I actually answer the question, what brings my family together, right? Maybe just to shed some light in the situation, because of the quarrels that has been happening at home, there were a lot of strain. Our relationships are very strained, in that sense. So, family time became something that we didn't have in that sense, and we kind of got used to that. But if I were to put a name, or if I were to articulate what brings my family together, I think it would be conversations. Because on the surface, when New Year's, we don't celebrate Christmas. Birthdays kind of like a not a necessity, but sometimes we celebrate it maybe over food. Yeah, but other than that, we don't come together as a family. But then I think my initial reaction to that is, how come other families are able to celebrate together? And when I think about that, I see that as something that I really desire in my family. In that sense, I wanted and I craved for that day where my family could gather together for like dinner, or even just to sit at the dining table together to have dinner together. Is something that we don't have, but I want. Um, but over time, because of the individual conversations that I had with my family members, I realized that each of them also have that same desire. Yeah, as much as we don't execute it, but I feel like my dad, my brother, my mom still have that desire to have family dinners or celebrate festivals together in that sense. So, for example, right, my mom always she's the one that cooks for family. So then every time when we eat at different timings, which is quite funny. Just that my mom will always sit at the dining table and then watch us eat. So every time I see my mom, then she'll say that, y'all don't appreciate me for the things that I cook. And then after I talk to her, then I kind of realized that it's really because she also deep down has that desire to see the family coming together to eat the food and to appreciate her for the things that she has done for the family lah. Then for my dad, it's like going for morning breakfast, and then he will tell me that !aiya! Your mom won't go one lah, or like your brother won't go one lah. But then you can tell from his tone that it is something that he desires lah. And for my brother, it is always when he's outside, he will always like text the home group chat, asking like, "Oh, do you want to eat anything from that I can tapao from outside?" That kind of thing. So I see the heart, and I saw that through communicating with them as individuals. Of course, I hope that one day we will be able to come together as a family and just share our hearts in that sense. Yeah, so just really hoping for that lah. Yeah, I hope I answered the question. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for sharing, Sing. Yeah, praying with your family also. Yeah. Okay. What other questions does the Mega Life Bot have for us now? Feel like they are like really prying into our like hearts,
Do you love your family?
It's a loaded question. I think the straightforward answer is yes, definitely. Um, but it's hard lah in that sense. Um, I love them because I see them as people that God wants to bring back to their home. And I love them because I see that they themselves love the family too, in their own ways lah. Yeah, like for my dad, it is working and bringing financial security for the family, supporting the family in terms of financial terms. Uh, yeah, then for my mom, it is taking care of each individual. When my brother is sick, when I'm sick, he takes care of us. She takes care of us. And for my brother, it's tapao. He tapaos the food for the family. But um, I think okay, maybe I can talk about how love has evolved in that sense. When as I was growing up, I think when we were younger, love kind of seems like if my mom gives me more pocket money than my brother, then my mom loves me more. If my mom prays my brother more, then he loves my brother more. And that was how I felt when I was younger, in a sense. My mom did give more pocket money to my brother. It seemed that my mom cared more for my brother as well. So then there was that like comparison in that was in my heart lah. That's something that I felt, and I thought that maybe perhaps my mom or my parents don't love me as much. But over time, as I grew up, and also reading from Luke, the prodigal son, right, when the lost son came back and his father just threw his arms around the son, and he clothed him with the best clothing, and he slaughtered a calf for him and celebrated his return back home. But then for the other son, it's kind of like, I'm still here, but why you never appreciate me? So I felt like that. But after hearing that story of the prodigal son, I realized that love is not based on the material things that we see or that we receive. In that sense, it doesn't mean that if my mom gives my brother more money, she seems to care for my brother a lot more, that she loves me any less. That was something that I realized over time, because that's not how God loves us. In a sense, when Jesus was on earth, he had 12 disciples, but it didn't mean that he loved the 12 disciples more than the taxpayers or the sinners, because he died on the cross for everyone. And having realized that for myself, I saw love differently. In that sense, I didn't compare whether or not my brother received more pocket money, but I understood it as because my brother needed it more than I did. Yeah. And I think now I don't see it as something that determines or measures my parents' love for me lah. Yeah. I also don't know whether I answered the question, but that's just me. Yeah. So Kel, what about you?
All right. I think you did, and thanks for sharing on how like love has evolved for your family. Yeah, I think for me, um, um, I honestly do remember times where I used the word hate for my family, and those were younger days where it was very difficult. I just felt that no one really cared about family, and felt also very hurt by different things that different ones are doing lah. For example, if my parents were not talking, of um, my brothers weren't like very respectful to my parents, and how like different relationships within the family was breaking down. Yeah, and so at times like that, honestly, it was very, very hard to say like I love my family. Yeah, and sometimes I think when we answer this question, uh, it's really, really we can really base it on what we feel, yeah, or what are the circumstances. So only when we have a good circumstance, um, or when things are going well, when we really feel the love, then we say like, yeah, I love my family. Yeah, but consistently through the years, I was very challenged by God lah, about a biblical kind of love, and knowing that this family unit is important to Him, and is what He has set up, and how He has placed each and every one into our families for a purpose and for a reason lah. Yeah, and that made me realize that yeah, God, because of the love that you have shown me, and you have adopted me into your family, and you have given me this family, yeah, with your unconditional love lah. Yeah, and that I'm able to love my family in spite of the circumstances, and sometimes in spite of how I feel at that moment. Yeah, and I think that love is a deeper kind of love. Is not just as a superficial kind of thing. Yeah, but then again, I'm saying all this. Um, uh, it's not that like, oh, like with whatever thing, then like it is so easy to cling onto this love, and to say that I love my family and to really say and mean it from the heart lah. And I think that was a journey I had to also take. But it's to constantly know and to ask the Lord to give you a heart for your family, because that is important and precious to Him. Yeah, and I think also even seeing that this love is not transactional. Also a bit to what Sing was talking about. Yeah, it's not that I will expect my family to do this or do that. Yeah, but really start from yourself lah. Yeah, um, to really ask God to give you this love for your family. Yeah. Okay, so moving on to the next question.
What role do you play in your family?
Okay, I can share first. Wow, what role I play? I think if you ask my 13-year-old self, I would say I'm the mediator. So when my dad quarrels with my mom, I'll be the mediator. When my mom quarrels with my brother, I'll be the mediator. But now I see myself as a daughter actually in my family. Why I say that is because over time I realize it's not a burden that I have to carry alone in my family. In that sense, back then when I was 13, when the quarrels were very intense, I just felt like I needed to do something. I'm the only one that could hold my family together. But I didn't realize that God was actually someone that could hold me, that could give me strength through this situation lah. Yeah, so I there's something that like I put this card in my wallet and it says that whenever you feel like you're walking alone, or whenever you see that on the sand you only have a pair of feet, right? It's actually because God is the one that's carrying you, and it's not because you're alone. And that really comforted me and reminded me that God was always with me through the situation. And to give an example, just recently, my parents had some misunderstanding again, and I think my reaction to it initially was just to ignore the situation and let my parents deal with it. Yeah, but I think recently I was talking to my mom, and then I was just asking her about what the misunderstanding was, and then she was just talking to me about it. And initially I felt like I had to protect my dad in that sense because my mom was complaining about certain things. Um, but after talking and delving into the conversation, it turned the conversation turned somehow it turned into my mom just sharing her story, her life story, like how she came to Singapore, how she gave birth to my brother and I, the memories that we had when we were younger, how my mom had to single-handedly raise two kids because we were so close in terms of age, right? She had to raise two kids alone while my dad was out working and providing for my family. So that that transition in conversation made me realize that actually God was in the conversation, because through the conversation I didn't see my mom through the lens of the situation, but I saw her through the lens of God, because I actually was able to understand, empathize, and have compassion for her, because when she shared about how she took care of us when we were younger, I realized that she needed a lot of support, which she didn't get because of circumstances. But after that conversation, I just felt even more that she needed God in her life because she was telling me about financial worries, she was telling me about loneliness. But these things are things that only God can feel in our hearts. Yeah. So this is evidence of, I would say, of God working in my family. It doesn't seem like I think it's very subtle. Yeah, like sometimes you don't realize that God is working in your family, but if you actually take time to reflect and journal down like your emotions and the things that happen, you will actually realize that God is there for you and your family, and He can really teach you many things about yourself and your family in through this situation. And the only thing you need to do is to open up your heart and let Him in. Yeah. Yeah.
Amen. Good stuff. Yeah. Okay, so the question for all of y'all tuning in again is, what is the role that you play in your family lah? And yeah, I think that will bring me back to times where I've taken on unhealthy roles that I felt that I should have taken. Yeah, which was when my family was going through a very, very tough period. Um, it is in that time where I felt that as the eldest child, as the eldest daughter, like in that sense, I wanted to hold my family together lah. Yeah, and that came, a lot of place from striving, a lot of place of this place of wanting to um, really hold my family together, to honor my parents and to also like be nice to my brothers, but it was very draining and very tiring. Yeah, and in that sense, I took upon this role to try to also mediate, like what you said, like the mediator. Like sometimes I will try to ask my brother to apologize to my mom, or I will try to let like them know, like my parents know that I would like for them to be able to reconcile lah. Yeah, and I think there was one time like it really drove me to like my wits end, um, which was when I told my brother to apologize to my mom, um, but he didn't want to. Uh, and me just feeling I needed to hold the family together, which was coming from a very unhealthy place of carrying this burden like as a child. My brother took like a whole jug of water, like it's not even like this small, it's like this big. Yeah, and he just splashed it on my face. And so like I think at that point in time I really understood the word humiliation. I was just like drenched from like head to toe, and like I just like whoa. And my brother like said some things that was very, very hurtful at that moment. So I, driven to my wits end, I actually like left house, like ran away from home. I was crying all the way to my friend's place. Like, I was just running and I was crying. It's like a drama like that. But it was like at that time it really, really broke me because of this unhealthy burden that I was also carrying lah. I was hurt, but then again, like, I just felt that, no one in my family cares. No one in my family wants to make family happen. And so that really drove me to a place of like, I need to hold the family together, but I cannot. I'm not doing anything. Like nothing's working out. Yeah, and I remember just running all the way to my friend's place who lives like a few blocks down, and I was just sitting at the void deck crying lah. Yeah, and after that, after a few hours, then I got a call that okay, we are gonna have a family meeting. So I went back home, but then that family meeting didn't happen lah, and that like, just and this entire weight of like I need to make something happen, but that is not just on me. That everyone has a part to play, and most importantly, the person is God. Like, God is the one that is working things through, and I had to rely on Him lah, which I didn't. Yeah, and so, I remembered like turning my entire room upside down because I was really, really so angry that day, and so like broken like as a person at that point in time. And it was only during my time alone with God that God was revealing to me, yeah, that hey Cal, like you are not like, you don't have to take upon this burden of holding your family together. Yeah, and that, in that sense, knowing that He is the one holding my family together really set me free lah from this unhealthy mindset that I once had. Yeah, and knowing that it's not by my own might or my strength, like it is nothing compared to like God, who is really sovereign over every single family unit, even though sometimes we cannot see it, as what Sing also mentioned just now, like you just don't see it sometimes, but you know that even when you don't see it, that God is still moving, and God is not late and not early as well. It is all in His beautiful and right timing. Yeah, and I can really, really like testify now that my family has really take a turning point, and all of us being closer in our walk with God also, and we're still in this process and like journey of knowing what it means to be family lah. Yeah, and I think right now my role is what I believe is to honor my parents, yeah, and to set a good example to my brothers also, um, in terms of how we can honor our parents, even though sometimes it is difficult with some of the things that they may say. And I think what I try to do is to communicate also, and to also appreciate to like just drop your family members a little text, or to even verbalize the appreciation that you have for them. Like when my brother buys me bubble tea, that I'll like thank you, I'll like, really, really express it. Or like, when my parents allow me to do something that initially that they were against, or they did not approve, like to thank them lah for understanding where you were coming from. And I think my role, I hope, is to honor my parents, be a good example to my brothers, and to appreciate my family. All right, next question, please. Are there still questions?
What do you hope for your family?
Yeah, so initially when I was praying, I always tell God, I pray that my whole family will be saved. But now increasingly, I feel like when I pray to God that my family members will know God as their personal Lord and Savior. Because and I think the change is you realize that it's not just about them it's not just about them believing in Jesus, but also living the life that God wants us to live out. Yeah, and that's why I feel like it's that my prayer became that they know God personally. Yeah.
Thanks for sharing. Yeah, so my hope for my family is that we will, in the story in Exodus, it's in Joshua lah, where me and my household will serve the Lord. Yeah, and in that point in time, Joshua and his entire household and his family chose to stand onto the side that was God's camp lah, because they had a choice whether to follow God or to not. Yeah, and they chose to follow God, and that's when they say me and my household will serve the Lord. And this is something that my mom also constantly like talks about and prays about. My dad also. Yeah, and I guess it is quite nice to know that each and every member of this family unit is seeing the same thing together lah. That all of us will be in this family to be able to serve the Lord and to really follow after Him all the days of our life. Yeah, that's what I hope for my family.
I just want to say, actually, after sharing, before that, I always felt like Christian family and non-Christian family struggle with very, very different things. But after today's sharing, I realized that even in a Christian household, you all struggle with family unity. You all struggle with how does a godly community look like. So in a sense, this is an encouragement that I feel we can give to Mega Lifers, that even if you as a member, you are in a Christian household and you see your fellow cellmate struggling with family, right? It doesn't mean that you can't reach out to the person. It doesn't mean that you can't pray for the person or understand the person, because ultimately, I think with God's help, we are able to have that empathy for them lah. Yeah. So thanks for sharing, and maybe we can move on. Yeah.
This is the last question. What are some advice or encouragements you have for the viewers?
So you just answered the last question in the second last question. Wow. Okay. I can just share first, then so you can add on if there's anything else later. Yeah. Actually, right, what Swing was sharing was exactly what I typed. Like, I don't know whether you realize, but halfway through the sharing, I like was trying to type in my com. Yeah, but I was like, doesn't mean you're from a Christian family, doesn't mean you're from a pre-believing family that your family is like easier, or that your sets of struggles or difficulties are different. Yeah, I think it made me realize that in every single family unit, like 家有家事, and it's okay, and it's even in that we all know that everything comes out from God's hand. Yeah, and with these things happening, to always have the hope lah, to place our hope in God, knowing that there is an eternal restoration, that there is an eternal hope that we can place in Him, and to never give up on our family. Continue to pray for them, continue to ask God to give you this heart for them, continue to see how God sees them lah. And I think even for me as a Christian family, coming from a Christian family, there will definitely be times where I guess you feel that you know as a Christian mom or as Christian dad, sometimes you'll hold them to a particular standard. You'll feel that that they should be this way or that way. But what I realized is that there is a place to sharpen and to spur one another on towards Christ-like and to be more Christ-like. But then again, we also have to see that we are all fallen, same as for myself also. And it's in that where we choose to extend the grace to one another, because God has extended the same to each and every one of us. And I think even for journeying through like forgiveness and and bitterness is not the easiest thing. But to encourage all of y'all, all the viewers hearing this, that I think what really helped me to break free from unforgiveness and bitterness is to first realize that God has forgiven you, and to ask God to forgive yourself for not forgiving. Because in our short-sightedness, we did not see that God has really given us this unconditional love and forgiveness lah. And just as in the parable of the unforgiving servant, the master forgave the servant, and the servant didn't forgive the other servant that wronged him. And I think that really convicted my heart, to know that, hey, this is God who has chosen to forgive me. And with any difficulties with family, it may be a long drawn issue, it may be difficult to work with because it's family, but to really not give up on that hope, and to always choose to lean upon God and allow Him to be our strength and guide in this time. Sing, do you have anything else to add? If not, we are about 7 minutes away to the live ending.
I have. So just one. I think we have shared a lot of takeaways that we have personally. But another thing I want to encourage y'all to do is journal. To journal. Because I realized that in my journey of journaling, it helped me, for one, talk to God. And second, it helped me look back at how I've grown as a person. And when you see that growth, you also see that God is working through your life. So start with journaling.
It's so true. And with that is the perfect transition to our closing question for all of you. So it's after hearing the sharing, what is God leading you to rebuild in your own life? Be it personal or family from this sharing. And as what Sibling mentioned, very true. Please go and journal. Take the time to reflect and spend the time with God in your own secret gardens with Him. And I think it's even that place where you allow the Holy Spirit to search your heart, and also to reveal to you and to test your anxious thoughts. So I repeat the closing question again. After hearing our sharing, what is God leading you to rebuild in your own life? Can please, I think our last, if there's one thing we really hope for y'all to take away, is this closing question to really take this time to journal and reflect. Okay, so with that, wow, we have come to the end of our IG live session, and wow, 一转眼就是55分钟了。Sorry, me saying like Chinese, but it's been 55 minutes. And just to end off this time with a few announcements. So basically, don't forget there is a giveaway contest going on We Are Mega Life's Insta. We have $30 GrabFood vouchers to be won. You just need to submit your reflections on the Bible reading plan, and also to complete the Kahoot quiz. So just tune in to their Insta stories for more details, and the contest will end this Wednesday, 2359. And continue to also take this time to ask the Lord about what He's asking you to rebuild, especially as we're going through this series in Nehemiah about #Can'tBuild. And with that, I think just a big thank you from Sing and I for tuning in, and I also thank you to God lah. Yeah, for without him, I guess Sing and I will not know where we are now also with regards to family, and it is indeed very very humbling lah to be able to share our little bits on how family has been for us. Yeah, and with that, we hope that you'll have a good time, Mega Life. See you next time. Bye. How long must we wait for? Okay, but go read your Bible reading plan.